Hi there, everyone. I hope you're doing well wherever you are around the world and being awesome and creating amazing things. And I'd love to see some of them sometime. I've had a bunch of comments lately from people who, well, Pocket just says hi too. I've had a lot of comments or not a lot, a few comments lately from people who question why I'm only doing reviews of stuff on that evil empire of Amazon. And so I figured I might as well do a video on why I honestly think that right now, today, Amazon is the best place for me, especially, to be doing videos on where to get art supplies, and maybe the best place to get art supplies. Now, before you hit stop and be like, oh my gosh, because I can hear the eyes rolling already, understand this. I am old enough that I have lived in a time where there was no internet and there was no Amazon. I know, I was around when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. But I also grew up on a farm, and there were no art stores around me. There was no cute little, shop on the corner. I literally had to create my place in making art through beg borrowing, and I won't say stealing, but, pilfering through the junk drawer for pens, pencils, crayons, whatever I could find to create things out of. And I can really understand what it's like for people around this planet to not have access to things to create with. Now, if you're ultra creative and know how to make art art supplies out of, recycled paper, or maybe you know how to take a twig and make that into something, or maybe there's a cool shop in your neighborhood that has some magic that can, use berries, mud, spit, and twigs to make art supplies. Well, that's awesome. And if you want to support them, that's great. But you have to remember, this is a video done by some humble dude in British Columbia in Canada who is trying to help and encourage people to be creative, and to be not just creative, but kind of zen, minimalist, enjoy their life, get the essence of creation through their art. And part of what that means is not more. Recently, somebody sent me a super cool link to a super awesome and beautiful art palette, or a watercolor palette that was made out of brass. The thing was also $300 Canadian. I don't know about you, but the awesome watercolor palette that I use and that I did my review, that maybe was the first thing that turned you on to this channel. I think it's $16 Canadian or something very similar, less than 20. $300 versus 20. Well, I won't say that I'm cheap, but I would probably go for the $20 one most days. I can create some pretty amazing art with that. And yeah, you could argue that, you get what you pay for. Yeah, that's true. And the reality is in this world, we need to get our heads wrapped around the concept of getting rid of I, me, my, and more. And that means appreciating the stuff that we have. That means finding cool stuff and letting other people know about it. And it doesn't matter where it comes from. If you think that it makes a difference between, buying something in your neighborhood shop or buying something on the internet, at the end of the day, we're still buying, right? If you watch all of my videos, I don't advocate buying more. In fact, I kind of advocate buying less and appreciating the world around us and creating art with that. So, on Amazon, not that I need to say the name of the company, but you can get everything you need from wherever you are around the world. You could live up in Nunavut. You probably don't know where that is. Most of us Canadians do. You could be in Whitehorse. You could be in Delhi. You could be in Istanbul. Is it Istanbul or Constantinople? Istanbul. You could be in Jakarta. You could be wherever you are, and I can talk about this cool water brush. And I can give you the link to how you can get one, and then you can create with that. Now, am I saying you have to get it from wherever the link is? No, of course not. But if you're enjoying these videos, guess what? If I give you the link, that also helps me to, and you buy it from the link, that helps me to be able to keep going with doing all these videos, because it's time consuming, right? And let's face it, us artists, we're a starving bunch. And the thing is when I give a link and people actually pick it up, that enables me to get other cool things, like say, I got this off of Amazon. That's my brush pen that I absolutely fell in love with. And guess what? Can't open it. Guess what? I bought that awesome thing thanks to people on this channel picking up the stuff that I use to create my art. So it's kind of a win-win situation. Now, I'm also not of the mind that just because there's a big corporation that they are somehow inherently evil. I can guarantee the bed that you sleep on is probably made from a corporation. The boards that make up your house or the bricks or whatever, probably made by some corporation, and so on and so on. So it's just the kind of world that we live in, that there are these companies that make a lot of money. And yeah, for sure, everybody's struggling, especially in these times that we live in. So by all means, if you love your neighborhood shops, support them. But what I'm more concerned about is getting people to be in love with creating and being able to have access to those things wherever you are. And the things that I have put down on this channel as cool stuff to pick up, I always do it in a way that it's affordable. Sure, there's other sketchbooks out there that are way more money. There's pencils, excuse me. There's pencils. I don't know if that was a hiccup or a burp. It was coming somewhere and then it went away. It might have been a yawn for that matter. But there are tons of things that you can get that are super expensive, and if that's what you dig, then go for it. But you know what? I try to keep the price of these things as low as possible so that everybody out there has access to it and can have more fulfilled lives. And what I've found is that you can get a lot of this stuff at a decent price from that thing, that place that everybody seems to think is evil. Now, if you're still sticking with me with this vibe that I'm going down, here's a Zen thing to think about. In Zen temples, we're taught that be a vegetarian if you are so inclined, right? That's your thing, because you don't want to do any harm, or you want to lessen the harm in this world. But do not criticize others if their choice is to eat meat. It's seen as kind of worse to be criticizing. Because there is good, let's put it this way, there's good and there's evil. Let's just use those words. But sometimes the evil that's inside of us, just using evil, you can use whatever you want. Sometimes that evil that's inside of us is worse than doing that thing, you know? Being judgmental, being critical, putting others down, saying that you're wrong and I'm right. That's not the way to live this life. Instead, what we should do is think of others first. We should cultivate compassion. We should be kind. And yeah, you can rope all that into your quasi-political, capitalist, materialist standpoint as well as to why you should or you shouldn't do that, and fill your boots. By all means. But at the end of the day, what we need to do is we need to be kind. We need to help each other. And this channel is really about that, is about helping each other out, supporting each other, coming up with some cool stuff that we can do together and cool ways to do it. So the next time you see me do a review, just think about maybe, why is he doing that review for that thing? Why is it that he's using that? Why is he saying that this is a thing that you can get? I don't think at any point in there you'll hear me say, you must buy it from this store. Because I don't, and I won't. But what I will say is that these things that I use, I really like and they work for me. And hey, this is where you can get it if you want to do that too. Because it's far better in this life to have access to these things than to not have access to it. I really believe that firmly. And like I said, it's your jam to make these things out of thin air and create, maybe you know how to make paper yourself. Maybe you know how to make a pencil. Maybe you know how to make watercolors. Oh my Lord, just thinking about that is getting me excited. Then by all means do it. But share how you do it too. Because at the end of the day, what we need is more art. What we need is more inner peace. What we need is more appreciation for the world that we live in and for each other, and to love each other and support each other in that. And if that means that, you're going to go, yeah, you should get it there because that's easy for you and good. And at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So, without further ado, go and do some art. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are someone who watches all my videos, oh my gosh, I wish I could give you a hug. Because you know what? All of you that comment, all of you that hit subscribe, all of you that join me over on Instagram, you're my new best friends. It means so much to me, you don't even know. So thank you very much. And if you get what I'm laying down, please hit like, support other people that are doing cool, artistic, wonderful things, and let's make our lives better. Thanks a lot.